people only want to be around us or near us because they want something, or people only, I don't know, text us or call us when they need something. How do you think God feels? It was rough for me to get over because I'm losing a partner and I'm losing a friend at the same time. When you carry discipline, it makes you do what you need to do even when you don't feel like it. And maybe I didn't want to be in the relationship, but I also don't want to see you with anybody else. The biggest mistake that some of us make as human beings is distracting ourselves when we feel hurt or when we feel pain. Like, I had to look in the mirror one day and I had to ask myself, do you know who you are? Hurt and pain makes you do some crazy things. It makes you say some crazy things. People tell us that it takes 10,000 hours to master something. Who are you? And when you ask yourself, who are you? Don't answer that question with what you do. Don't answer that question with how much money you make. We don't put 10,000 hours into mastering who we are. There's a different kind of strength that you have to be able to sit and bask in your own pain and suffering. I have learned that is the cheat code to life. I can't give anything of what to do, but I can tell you what not to do. Don't prolong the process. Back with another solo dolo. I might start getting used to these after a little while. Yeah, I think I'm alright at it. I do know at some point this will be like a norm because one day me and my brother will live in separate places, and so I think this is something I have to get used to. But today we got something similar to like the questions that we asked on the first one, but instead of questions, we had people anonymously ask for advice on things that they may be dealing with. So today's a time crunch, so we'll go into it. Someone says, I have dreams that I want to accomplish, but I can't stay motivated. I personally don't think that when you want to accomplish something, I don't think we should cling to motivation. I think that your discipline will get you much further than your motivation will. I think motivation is a thing where it's like, it's fleeting, it's up and down. One day you might be motivated, one day you might not be motivated. But I think that when you carry discipline, it makes you do what you need to do even when you don't feel like it. So I don't think we should rely and depend on motivation, but more so discipline, because like every day, not every day, but probably like 3 times a week, I go run a mile. I hate running. Running is one of my least favorite things to do in the world, but my discipline makes me do it because that's routine. That's what I expect from myself, I guess. So, yeah, I don't think motivation will fail you every time. But your discipline will push you to do things that you don't want to do. I think that's the best answer that I could give for that. Because there's times where I don't feel motivated to do anything, but I don't know. You gotta do what you gotta do. I don't know. So yeah, discipline over motivation, for sure. Okay, someone says, I want to better my relationship with God. Kudos to you for wanting to do that, first and foremost. But, okay, I will start by saying, like, bettering your relationship with God is something that you have to be hungry and thirsty for. It has to be something that you actually want to do. you can't do it just because, I don't know, somebody's pushing you to do it, because your parents said so, or because you grew up in church all your life. Like, God still knows your heart. God knows you want nothing to do with him in your heart. So I think that's something that you have to want to do. For me, for example, my relationship didn't change with God, or change with God for the better, actually, until this year. Like, I've always known who God is, because I mean, my great grandmother was a pastor. My grandmother, my mom's mom, she's an elder in the church. She's been like actually ordained. My mom grew up in church. Like, God, Christ is all we know. And my mom, I think the best thing you can do for your children is make sure your kids know who God is. I think that's one of the best things that you can do for your kids. But my actual want and desire to get to know God and have a better relationship with him didn't start till this year, around the time of Lent, which is like around, I think, April, I want to say, March, April. And it's 40 days where you give up something because Christ gave his life. You give up something because he shed blood. So, yeah, and during that time, I was just like heavily reading my Bible, heavily just connecting with him and getting to know him on a different level. And how you guys see me speak now, what you guys see me talk about now, even my brother, it's like that happened during that time, and now here we are. But I think to better your relationship with God, number one, you have to want to do that. But number two, when you seek him, I think you have to make sure you're seeking him for the right reasons. It can't be about what you can get from him, or it can't be about the work of his hands. Like, I think everybody looks to God, or I think people want to connect with God because everybody wants a miracle, or everybody wants a blessing, but it's like you can't seek him for the things that you want. You seek him because you love him. You seek him because he loves you. You seek him because that's what you owe him. God owes you nothing. He doesn't even owe us salvation. So I think you have to change how you seek him, or why you seek him. God knows your heart. God knows if you only seek him because you want something. And I think us as human beings, like, we feel that in relationships that we may have too. It's like, oh, we feel like people only want to be around us or near us because they want something, or people only, I don't know, text us or call us when they need something. How do you think God feels? How do you think God feels? I think it's the same thing. So, like, you have to wring out your heart of all of the things that don't matter. All he asks for is for you to love him and honor him and follow his commandments. That's it. Like, I think a lot of us, we get close to God and we expect life to get easier, or we expect all of these miracles, signs, and wonders, and it's like, no, actually, life gets harder when you get closer to God. And you will see people around you gain everything, and it's like you'll look around and say, well, like, where's mine? But again, God owes you nothing. So yeah, I think you have to be mindful of, number one, why you seek him, to better your relationship with him, and want to do that. Like, for me, like, I had to check myself because I was seeking God for a long time because I was so hyper ambitious of wanting what I wanted out of life. But like what? That's not. There's no sincerity in that. There's no purity in that. So yeah, and two, don't think that because you're a good person or because you do good things or you do good deeds that that's loving God. I mean, it's a form of it. You know, you're following the law of God, but it's not the good deeds that you do that will save you. It's being rooted in your faith that will save you. So yeah, I think you should think about why you want to seek God, and want to do that for yourself, not for anybody else, but for yourself. Yeah. Um. I don't know if I have any purpose, or maybe I just don't know what it is yet. So I'm somebody that, at a certain point in my life, felt that for a very long time. Uh, I thought basketball was it for me. Like, but when basketball was no longer something that I did or a thing in my life, that's when I began to feel that. Um, but I think now as I've matured, and sometimes I still wonder if I'm doing the right things or if I'm living within whatever quote unquote purpose means. Number one, I think we should stop trying to find a purpose. I think a purpose is something that you discover. It's not something that you find. Because I think that when you're trying to find something, you're actively and proactively searching for it. Whereas like if you explore it, or I don't know, you fall upon it, it's like it just came to you. Like it's natural. But more than anything, I think we search for purpose so much because we want to make ourselves feel good. We want to feel like we're doing something right. But I think that, and I'm going to always take everything back to God because I think God is everything. We should stop focusing so much on what makes us feel good. If we focus on doing God's business, everything else will come. The Bible says, keep your heart and your eyes focused on the kingdom, and everything else will be added unto you. So you give well, you love well, you steward well, you do what God told you to do, just the basics, the foundation, and I think everything else comes. And you fall upon what your purpose may be. And you won't even know it. But at the same time you will know it. Because it's gonna be natural. So stop searching for it. Stop, like sometimes when you stop focusing on things, that's when they come. So focus on doing God's business. You live right, and everything else will work out for you. That's what I think. Yeah, that's what I think about purpose. Mm, I can't get over my ex. Um, okay. I've had trouble with that too. Um, and that's a tough one, man. Um, especially if you've been in a very, 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 very long relationship. My last one was about 3, 4 years, maybe 5. I don't know. Um, I don't know, man. Like that, I think everybody's process is their own when it comes to relationships and love and getting over an ex or whatever. Everybody's process is their own. Um, for me personally, and I can only speak for me because I don't really have no advice for this. All I can say is like one day you just wake up and you get over it. Um, yeah, like one day I woke up and I was just over it. You know, like you have to remember who you are. Um, you have to remember who you were before this person came along. Um, I know that's what it was for me, but like for me getting over my last situation was hard. It was one of the hardest things that I've ever had to do because this was not only a partner that I had, but this was my friend for a really long time since I was in about the second grade. I'm talking about family knows each other. Um, my brother played basketball with one of her brothers. Wow. Um, my uncle knows their brother. Um, moms know each other. Like it was some deep ties. So it was rough for me to get over because I'm losing a partner and I'm losing a friend at the same time. So that's what made it tougher. But like before I actually got over it, I was probably the most toxic human being on the planet. I'm talking about popping up to houses. I'm talking about uh just doing things that is just toxic. Uh and that's what I would tell you not to do is don't be toxic. Because it prolongs your healing process. Um and my thing was like at that point, maybe I didn't want to be in the relationship, but I just felt like since my life is a living hell because I have to live without you or I have to be without you, I'm gonna make your life a living hell too. Um, and maybe I didn't want to be in the relationship, but I also don't want to see you with anybody else. That was my thought process at the time. Very immature, very toxic. Um, and that's what I would tell you not to do. I can't give any like anything of what to do, but I can tell you what not to do. Don't prolong the process, um, because it hurts more. Um, and in the process, when you do things that you shouldn't, um, in the midst of all of that, without even knowing it, you kind of like pollute your character a little bit. Um, because you end up showing a version of yourself that you're really not. Uh, and so people think that's you, but it's just like I don't know, man. Hurt and pain makes you do some crazy things. It makes you say some crazy things. Uh, but I would just say don't let your hurt or pain get the best of you because it will do more damage than it will help. And while whoever has moved on, you're still going to be stuck, hurt, or whatever. So, like, go through your own healing process, man. Your journey is your own. Find out what you need for your own peace and sanity. For me, that was prayer. Like, I had to look. I tell this story all the time. Like, I had to look in the mirror one day and I had to ask myself, "Do you know who you are?" And I asked myself the same question in two different contexts. It was like, "Do you know who you are?" And it was like, "No, you don't know who you are, because if you knew who you were, you wouldn't be doing all of this extra stuff that is prolonging your process." Um, and then I had to ask myself, "Do you know who you are?" Like, like I just said, you remember who you were before this person came along. Like, I don't, I don't, in the most humble way possible, I don't need none of this. Like, I'm bigger than all of this. Um, so yeah, I asked myself those two questions, and I instantly began to drown myself in prayer. You ask God for healing. You ask God for the peace in letting go. Like, you ask God for those things, and that's what I had to do. And slowly but surely, I was like, I woke up one day and I was just like, all right, bro, like, life goes on, because it does. And now that person is in a whole nother situation, and I'm like, you know what I'm saying? Like, but for me, now it's like, bro, I'm not disrespecting nobody's relationship. I'm not disrespecting nobody's, like, nothing. Like, cause I wouldn't want it done to me. Um, but yeah, like, and you may forever love that person, but you guys just can't coexist the same way. Um, and that's okay. And I don't know if life may bring you guys back together one day. I don't know. But what I do know is you have to always take care of yourself in the moment. So yeah, you figure out what works for you in your own healing process. But I can't tell anybody what that looks like for them. All I know is what it looked like for me. I can tell you what not to do, but I can't tell you what to do. Um, and they say that time heals. I don't believe that. I think that being proactive heals. Um, I think that being intentional with how you heal is what actually heals you, not just time, and not uh, surrounding yourself or being involved with a whole heap of people through sex, through tech, whatever. Like, that is the time to focus on you and your own healing process, not anybody else or anything else. Like, I think the biggest mistake that some of us make as human beings is distracting ourselves when we feel hurt or when we feel pain. But there's a different kind of strength that you have, and a different type of intentionality that you have to be able to sit and bask in your own pain and suffering. Like, I have learned that is the cheat code to life, is being able to sit and bask in your own pain and suffering, and also still find joy in all of the chaos that may be going on in your brain or in your spirit, in your soul, in your heart, whatever. You find joy in the chaos, but you also learn to sit in your shit. I think that's the cheat code of life, and knowing how to be alone. And once you learn how to do those two things and you master it, you can overcome anything. Dang, bro, about to cry. Yeah, you master that, and like, for me personally, bro, I think I've mastered that. And that's not to say that it doesn't hurt or it doesn't like, but you sit in it. And once you learn how to do that, you overcome anything. And I probably learned how to do that a little too much. But yeah, you focus on your own healing process and what works for you. That's the best advice that I could give for that. Uh, yeah, that's the best advice that I could give for that because everybody's journey is their own. So, you figure out what works for you. um, let's see. Um, I always feel alone, even when I'm around people and even around my own family. Ooh, okay. I'm also someone that has felt that my entire life. Um, and feel it now in my life too. Um, like I don't know what anybody else's family dynamics are, or what their support system looks like. Um, and I can only speak for me. Like you can have support or you can have um I don't know, good family, good friends, whatever, but you can still feel that loneliness. That's real. Hmm. I don't think I have any advice for that either, but I can tell you that I understand. Um it's not easy to feel that way, but I know that and people have to tell me this all the time and I'm the person telling whoever wrote that, I'm the person telling you this. You were not meant to live this life alone. I'm talking to myself when I say that too. Um, you pray and ask God to bring you the right people. And you have to figure out too what creates that loneliness or what creates that isolation or what creates that feeling of wanting to be alone. Like for me, that just happened to be what I'm used to. That just happens to be how I grew up. Um, mm, yeah. So for me, like, I don't know anything else. Uh, but when you ask God to bring the right people in your life, and He brings them in your life, then you won't. I don't think you will feel that as much. I don't know. I just think this this is very like this one is very broad because I think it depends on your situation. Um, like for me, it's how I grew up. I grew up feeling that lonely space because not that it was anybody's fault, but I just happened to always be the youngest in every room that I walked into. In my family, I was the youngest for a very long time. Um, So I just always felt that by default. Uh, but now I'm realizing in my adult life that that was traumatic for me. Um, and it shows up in my relationships. So I'm at a point in my life now where I'm trying to not even allow that to show up, because it shows up in ways of like, I don't say how I feel, I don't voice my feelings, or uh things like that. That's how it shows up. Um so yeah, I just think it's dependent upon your situation. But all I can tell you to do is pray and ask God to send the right people into your life, and He will. Um, I mean, the Bible tells us how important community is. So you are not meant to live this life by yourself or alone. And I have to remember to tell myself that too. It's like when I catch myself pushing people away, or when I catch myself putting up that wall and not wanting to get close to people, I have to remember, like, yo, you deserve good people too. Um, so yeah, like your loneliness is like, that's or your feelings of loneliness, I think is a battle from the devil himself, because God tells you that that's not how you were meant to live this life. And more than anything, if you feel like you have nobody physically here, you have God. And that is the best love that you will ever receive. So um yeah, I think those feelings is just a battle from sent from the devil himself. Because even and when you think about those moments that you feel that loneliness, and the thoughts that you have and the feelings that you have about, oh well, why doesn't anybody want to be around me, or why why don't I have anybody, or things like that, like, you very well have family that loves you dearly. You very well have friends that love you dearly. Um, you just have to step into those relationships and give those relationships your best, as you would expect the people in the relationships to give you their best. And that's what I'm learning. Is like, relationships are not, it's not a one-way street. Um, it's give and take. You gotta give some to get some. You gotta give people what they deserve to have to get what you deserve. Yeah. People deserve the best version of you. And it's up to you, and I'm speaking to myself when I say all of this. It's like, it's up to you, man, to give them your best so that they give you their best. Um like, in that sense, relationships are 50-50. Nobody wants to give, and then have somebody on the other end take. Like, nah. And I think that God put in all of us a spirit of giving. Like, show up for the people you love the same way that they show up for you. Give them what they need so you can get what you need. Um, and I think that that's something that I've failed at in my relationships. And I'm trying to be better at, because you do want people to stay in your life. Um, and there's no excuse for, like, not meeting somebody halfway in your relationships. Like, you see them give you their best, you give them your best. And I think that's what I have had to learn, even over the past few weeks or months of my life, is like, check yourself and see if you're giving your relationships your best. If you're not, you need to do something different. Um, and that's where I am in my life. It's like you need to do something different. Um, with I don't know, with all of the shit that you may face in life, like you cannot let that shit control you or consume you. You gotta do your best. Period. Um, you can't make excuses for yourself. Nothing. You just be your best. Even bro, even when you don't feel like it. Even when I wake up some days, bro, and I don't want to talk to anyone. Um, or I have moments throughout my day that it's like, leave me alone. But your relationships and the people in your relationships, they don't deserve that. So you get your shit together. And you become a better communicator. I feel like this has gone in a totally different direction than the topic of loneliness, but like at this point I'm talking to myself, but yeah, bro, you give your relationships your best, man. And you be the best that you can be when God sends the right people into your life. Period. And there's no excuse for not giving your best, I don't think. It's just especially when people love you for you and they don't want nothing from you, they don't need shit from you. You do your best, bro. You do your best, bro. That's all I can harp on is do your best. And two, just to tag on to that, and I don't know if this has anything to do with anything, but no, I'm not gonna say that. Never mind. We're just gonna go to the next one. Just go to the next one, bro. Okay. Yeah, give your relationships your best. Don't be a what's the right word I could use? Don't shortchange your relationships like I have done in my life. Give people your best, man. I don't make friends outside of playing my sport. Um, See, and I would need to know like the situation with this too, because is this a situation where it's like people only want to be friends with you because you play this sport, or is this like you literally just can't make friends outside of your sport? Like I would need to know context on this. But I'll provide an answer for both, I guess. If this is a thing where it's like people only want to be friends with you because of your sport, because you play your sport, I get that. I played basketball for a very long time. And I don't know what sport you play, so I don't know what other locker rooms are like. But I know a basketball team is very like tight knit. And I know that basketball is probably one of the most popular sports in the world. So people like basketball. So I think a lot of people watch basketball, and I think that people find interest in basketball. So they find interest in the people that play that sport. And so I think I was one of those people. It's like people wanted to cling to me because I was good at what I did. Um, mm. But for me, those relationships that I had because people wanted to cling to me because I played basketball, I didn't entertain those relationships because it was fake to me. Because what's gonna happen when I don't play basketball anymore? Are you still gonna be on my side? And I found out later on in my life that those people that were attached to me because I played basketball weren't really on my side because I stopped playing basketball and I watched them go away. So that shit is rough because it's like, damn, like, you feel me? That's rough. Cause like, damn, I'm only worth a basketball, or I'm only worth a jersey number, I'm only worth a stat line. Like, and even when you have bad games, bro, nobody want to talk to you. Like, and I learned that quickly. So it's like, even coaches, bro, that I've had, like, when I didn't go play for them, they didn't talk to me no more. Like, so a lot of those relationships that I've had playing basketball was like only because of basketball, or because if we're speaking of coaches, like, because I would give you what you wanted me to do. I came and played for you or whatever. When I stopped playing basketball, though, I could count on probably one hand how many people or coaches I still have a relationship with even after me not playing basketball. Teammates, that includes teammates, coaches, peers, like, it's not a lot, bro. So when you don't do what people want to see you do, when you're not doing that anymore, they write you off. So yeah, like, if that's the situation where it's like people are only friends with you because of the sport, those are not real friendships or relationships. I'll tell you that straight up. Like, that's real and raw. Those are not real friendships or relationships, and those relationships and friendships need to end now. But if it's a situation where, like, you just can't make friends outside of basketball or whatever sport, I think you have to look in the mirror and check yourself and ask yourself, what are you doing, or why you can't make those relationships or friendships like, to me. And I think the most, and I don't know the situation, I don't know the circumstance, like, I don't know if the feelings, whatever. That's why I said I need more context on this. But, like, I think the biggest mistake, and I say it all the time, the biggest mistake that people can make as athletes is, like, wrapping your identity up in your sport. Do not do that. That is the biggest mistake you will ever make in your life, because when you no longer play that sport, now you're going to go through a freaking identity crisis. It's a real thing. I'm not joking. I went through it. I wrapped my identity up in basketball. So it's like, when you do that, it's like everything you see, everything you hear is that sport. Everything. How you live your life will be that sport. How you cope will be that sport. Everything will be that freaking sport. And when that sport crumbles in your life, you will feel like you have nothing else because you wrap your identity up in it. And that is the biggest mistake that you will ever make in this life, is wrapping your identity. Forget the sport. The biggest mistake you will ever make in your life is wrapping your identity up in a sport, in a career, in a person, in what you do, in your children. Like, that is the biggest mistake that anybody will ever make. Because one day your kids will grow up and live their own lives. One day you will retire from your career. One day you will no longer play that sport. One day your parents will go live their own life. Like, do not wrap your identity up in things. Like, just don't do it. But I think that to make friends outside of your sport, you have to go do and see other things. Like, it can't just be straight basketball. It can't just be straight football. It can't be just straight soccer. It can't be just straight tennis. It can't be just straight track. Like, nigga, like, go outside a little bit. Nigga, like, go, like, where your childhood friends at, bro? Like, before you even started anything it is that you're doing in your life, like, that's the key, is like, where are your childhood friends at, bro? Before you, like, your day ones, where they at? Like, just go do other things that are separated from the sport. Just go do things with people that don't even like your sport, that don't know shit about it. Go do things with those kind of people. Go do that. Like, just don't wrap your identity up in your sport. And I think a lot of times, bro, how much time I got left? Because I'm about to get this off quick. People tell us that it takes 10,000 hours to master something, right? And we put those 10,000 hours into our careers, our sports, our craft, our purpose, or like, that's what we put those 10,000 hours into. And so when people, like, ask yourself, like, who are you? And when you ask yourself, who are you? Don't answer that question with what you do. Don't answer that question with how much money you make. Like, don't answer that question with anything that you do or anything it is that you have. Who are you? And I think a lot of times when people like, if somebody asks you, who is so-and-so? Who is Briah Christia? Like, if somebody asks you that, most people will answer that question and lead with, my name is so-and-so and I do this. That's not answering the question. That's not what I asked you. I asked you, who are you? I didn't ask you what you do. I asked, who are you? And I think that we put 10,000 hours into trying to master a craft or master a career or master, like, all of this other shit that don't matter. But, like, we don't put 10,000 hours into mastering who we are. And so that's why people ask us, who are you? Nigga, you really don't know for real. You think what you do defines you. And that's something that I had to learn, is like, basketball is not what you do. Podcasting is not what I'm gonna be. Like, that's not how you answer that question. And I don't think we sit with ourselves to understand who we are. We just let everything else around us, or everything it is that we have, define us. And it's like, that's not it. So, like, don't wrap your identity up in things, bro. Just find out who you are for real. And if we're gonna be biblical, I don't mind being biblical. Bible tells us our identity. And our identity is salt and light. Salt of the earth, light of the world. That's what Christ tells us our identity is. That don't got nothing to do with a podcast. That don't got nothing to do with a sport. That don't got nothing to do with your Roth IRA. That don't got nothing to do with your retirement savings. That don't got nothing to do with your Your PhD, that don't got nothing to do with nothing. But that has everything to do with the purity of your heart. That has everything to do with your character. That has everything to do with who you are on the inside. So yeah, bro, like don't wrap your identity in the sport. That is the biggest mistake that you will ever make in your life. Because when that sport goes away, you're gonna go through a living hell. And I can only say that, and it sounds harsh, but I can only say that because I had to go through it. So yeah, bro. Or sorry, bro. Not you might not be bro, sis, whatever. But like, bro, don't do it. I'm telling you, you don't want to do that because you will make your life harder than what it needs to be. If you're gonna wrap your identity up in anything, wrap it up in Jesus Christ. Do that. That's probably the best advice I can give you. And if you wrap your identity up in Jesus Christ, He tells you you're salt and light. So go read your Bible and you'll find out what that means. So yeah, that's it. That was the last one. I don't know if this will be. I don't know how. I don't know the sequence of when this will come out or whatever, but y'all see this at some point. It may be the. I ain't gonna put y'all down on that, but yeah, I'm Briah. I'm not gonna do a Be For Real today. Because I feel like I just went on a whole long rant, but good rant. I'm Briah. You know what? I do gotta be for real, man. Like, I think that we should, my Be For Real for today is gonna be like, don't waste your time on focusing on worldly things. I think we live our lives so much and we want to fill our lives up with things like, I want a car, I want a house, I want to be married. We want all of these things in life. But none of that exists in eternity. None of it. Marriage doesn't even exist in eternity. So like we want to fill ourselves up with all of this stuff in life, and it's like we're going to get to the end of our lives still empty. Like none of the things on earth mean anything. And none of what you have will matter when you die. So you set your focus on things above, not the things here on earth. That's what I got. I'm Briah. See you guys later. See you guys maybe this year, next year, I don't know.